the antenna that I used for measurements. Okay, this is the Cushcraft antenna that I don't know what it is. I thought it might be a modified Ringo, but it's a dual band vertical. And if anybody knows what model that is, I duplicated the measurements on it. Pretty much everything except the ground planes. This is 8 inches. Okay. And you'll see here they have the insulator. This one is 8 inches. I have the insulator. It's not separated as far as this one is. Okay. Let's see here. Okay. Vertical element is, looks like 20.5 because it's inserted into the insulator. And we'll measure this one real quick. And that is also right at 20.5. These are about 6 inches, the ground planes. These are the way the shish kebab sticks come. They're 12 inches, but I cut them down to 11 once it's tuned. These tune the antenna really good. Everything's aluminum except the shish kebab sticks, which are steel, so they will rust. These ones had kind of a large circle ring that I needed to use big washers on. Okay. On this antenna, the 70 centimeter element is here, and there's a fine connection between here and the boot. And the way you tune it is with this clamp, so you can move this in and out. And I have it marked. Very good antenna. That one has the 3 ground plane elements, and this one only has 2. But here it is turned the other way with the connector. I don't like the connector there at all. I'd like to, my next one, I'm going to move it here for sure. So here's a better view of the antenna. We'll start with the shish kebab sticks. They've just got the electrical ties on the end so you don't poke yourself. Probably could put caps on it, but to me it looks okay. Doesn't look too bad with those. They're connected with a bolted nut with some washers. The rings on the shish kebab sticks were a little bigger than I wanted, so I had to use washers. Moving on to the electrical junction box, you don't really need a dual junction. You could use a single, but this is what I had, and I try to use what I have. Don't like to spend money on stuff I already have in stock, so I just use this. This cap on top of it isn't the best cap either. It's a cap with a bowl in the top, so it'll hold water for a few days until it evaporates. But I'm not putting a cap in the bottom at all, and that'll be my weeping hole to allow water or moisture to escape and air out quickly. I used a plastic, or it was a rubber washer. It was a pretty heavy duty one to keep the electrical junction box flush and level with the pull system, the two elements, the bottom element that connects to the ground plane and shish kebab sticks, of course, is not the exact diameter as the Swiffer poles, so I used that black spacer between it. And the same thing, just a bolt. And you could go with a continuous piece of the aluminum that Swiffer uses, which is pretty good aluminum. But I actually like to use a separate piece in case I make a mistake. I can always slide another piece on this one, which is the male. Because what I do is I'm using a pipe cutter to cut the top there and bring it down to the size I want. And the pipe cutter does a way better job than a hacksaw, and it was quite easy to use on this aluminum. This mark here is from tape that I had holding it together during the tuning process, but I've pretty much got it figured out. I cut it at 23 inches, and include this pole, the bottom pole and the top pole included, came out to 23 inches, and then once I cut this top piece down, it of course is 20 and a half, 20.5 inches. So the most important part, I think, is getting the male part, which would be this element, sanded really good, and this finish, which is really strong, grounded off. You have to grind it off really good. And then I found putting a bolt between them works really well. And like I said, you could go with the full piece and not have to do what I did and split it up. There's enough on the Swiffer to make two antennas, so you could even just do one piece, but I did a separate piece for just to have a tuning link, I call it. And again, it just that I now have a bolt on it because in the wind, I was watching the SWRs, and the wind would make the FWRs fluctuate. So I realized that it was the gap between there that was causing that. Before, it was the snap link that Swiffer provides, and I removed the snap link and just put a bolt in there, a little tiny bolt. So there you go. Let's look inside. All right, here's the feed box. If you look inside, there's a line going to a bolt. That line's connected to the core of the SO239. The frame of the SO239, which is the shield, is connected to this bottom line, which comes out and is connected to this bolt. The bolts run through the junction box, and I used, like I said, the spacer there so that it's flush and not at an angle, torquing on it. And the green insulator divides them. The only difference is the insulator is not separated as much as the other one on that Cushcrafter, the unknown antenna outside I showed you. So that's the feed point. And personally, I do not like the feed point on the side like this because it bends when the coax wire comes out, the cable comes out. It's constantly bending it. But what you can do to correct that is when it comes down to the pole, just put a few ties there and tie it so that it has a bit of slack in it. And that'll really help with that. And you're supposed to do that anyway. But in the future, I will use another dual junction and have the SO239 definitely coming out of the bottom here, and it'll run down. and it'll be a lot cleaner and less stress on the coax line. Well, it looks like a big storm's coming in again. Goodness. Coming in from the east. Wanted to show you what I used for the ground plane base. More good aluminum you can get. This one's pretty much done. I might be able to use that centerpiece. I cut off all the pieces from here. You can get these at Goodwill, thrift stores, for practically nothing. The aluminum is really good aluminum. Oh, I just unplugged all the antennas. That's a pretty big storm coming. Look at all those lines on my dipole system there. They're all down right now except for the 40 meter. Got the 40 meter hooked up. It's been pretty good lately. Yeah, that's a big storm coming up. Wow. So this is my schematic, and I converted it to Impress. Let me show you. But first, let's check something on the radio. Okay, well, I don't feel so bad. Everybody is experiencing problems and has their main radios off. A lot of people are on mobile. I'm on the little handy talkie there. Got all my other radios off over here and back to it. Went on Linux and used Apache OpenOffice Impress to go ahead and make the schematics. I've got the front view here and pretty much all the information that I think you'll need. If I had 2 ham radio operators ask me via email, don't forget you can email me at my call sign at yahoo.com. But I'll put this in the description. It'll be a link to the PDF file. And this one has the SO239 on the bottom instead of the side. You saw the other one. This one still has the cork, but you saw I went ahead and put a cap in mine. It's up to you how you want to make it, but I'm sorry in the last video, which is now gone, this is the update. The video and the information, the schematics were very blurry, so this should help. Yep, got dark real quick. Zap the antenna.